You know she's getting filled by some black stud. You know there's some black fucking bull that's just filling her with Jesus, meat, giving her the real fuck she deserves. Some big black bull just filling her with cock meat. And that's his crazy talk.
All right, folks, and we are live. And right from the start, we got a Streamlabs donation. Thank you very much for that. Conan the Destroyer says, this stream is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. That is a terrible, terrible lie, but thank you very much for the super chat there. I think I'd rather be brought to you by some degenerate porn site than Raid Shadow Legends. But I'm going to be hopping into a Hangouts here and chatting with some folks. Unfortunately, I still don't have screen share. Still haven't gotten it to work. I know. Awesome fucking show. It just stopped working on OBS, and I have not really figured it out yet. So, before we hop into the Hangouts and chat with some folks, I have an announcement to make. This is going to be the last Saturday show for a while. At least for a month. I'm going to be taking February off. Maybe longer, I don't know, but at least February. I'm burned out. I'm burned out in a lot of ways. I'm burned out in a lot of ways we're going to get into here. And I want to put a lot of thought into where I'm going to take this channel. If I'm going to take this channel even. I just got to step back from it for a bit and put some thought into it. I like doing this. I really do. And I love this audience. It's a small audience, but y'all have been great. The interactions with you, the donations, even just getting dumb shit off the wish list, it's all been great. And I still like doing this, and we'll probably continue to want to do this. I just got to put a little more thought into what exactly this is. Because I don't want to just... there's a lot of reasons. The show was at its best when I could gather a big crowd of people. And it used to be that I was the guy that got along with everybody, and I had all these different kinds of people on, and I'm just, it's not that show anymore. I'm not that guy anymore. I don't want to associate with a lot of these fuckers out there. I really don't. And, some of them don't want to associate with me anymore. So, obviously the Irini situation sucked some life out of all this. We had fun laughing at him, but once that stopped, I lost the Twitter account. That makes it harder to book people. I got Luke running a Twitter account for the show, but that's not the same. Hell, through the Twitter account, that was the only way I could book Razorfist. Although I think in part Razorfist doesn't come on because I went hard on Spoonie. To be honest, I really think that was because Razorfist is insanely defensive of Spoonie. I don't understand why. Spoonie would line Razorfist up against the wall if he could. I don't get what that's all about. But anyways, that's just some examples. I still have Common Filth. I'm the last guy on the internet Common Filth seems to want to associate with, which is quite honoring. But Common Filth comes and goes as he pleases, so that's not a reliable guest to book. And part of it, part of me thinks I want to get away from the all the current affairs shit, and I don't know, just maybe talk about some more fun shit. Maybe finally figure out how to make videos and review shit. I don't know. And maybe I just want a month off. I don't know. A couple weeks off, and I might feel refreshed. But I need it. I really do. And I don't think the quality of the show has been up to snuff here lately, which isn't fair to you guys. Now, and I will, the Patreon, if you're a Patreon supporter, first of all, thank you. If you're a Patreon supporter, you will get charged at the end of January here, but I'm going to suspend it after that, so you won't be charged for February, because I'm not Spoonie. I'm not going to charge you for content I'm not producing. That would be shitty. So the Patreon will be suspended in February. And I'll probably be back in March. Hopefully with some fresh ideas and OBS sorted out. So, for now, last show for a little bit. So, hopefully we're going to make it a good one. All right. All right, let's get into the Google Hangouts. And checking on our frequent sidekick Luke and probably some other people. Hey Luke, how's it going? Can't hear you there.
Good morning, terrifying fantasy world.
Good morning.
So as I announced, I know you probably couldn't hear it there, Luke. This is going to be the last show for at least for a month. Going to take a break.
Vacation time.
Figure things out. Figure out where we're going with this. Sort out technical issues. Take actual time to do that. But tonight we got a few things to talk about. First thing I want to talk about. So I mentioned Spoonie a little while ago, and I cannot for the life of me fathom why this man has such goodwill poured upon him. And I saw something today that just staggered me. So, let me bring... I don't have screen share right now, so you're going to have to bear with me here, folks, but you don't really need to see it. So, let me... I just want to make sure I read it right. Sorry, folks. I know, very, very professional. Anyways, Spoonie got he put out this tweet where he said he was having night terrors. You know, I mean, that could have something to do with the fact that you're going to lose your house because you're a lazy fuck. And I saw somebody, the first immediate reply. Let me bring it up here. And we might even play the sound. First immediate reply. Somebody at Kane Zachary, Jarno DeWolf is his name, apparently. He tweets out, he goes, it's a message from Reb Brown to the Spoonie one. So it looks like he took this picture or this video at a con. Reb Brown was there signing autographs. And for those of you that don't watch Spoonie, you don't know who Reb Brown is. Reb Brown was a B action movie star from the 80s that Spoonie was just in love with. Just, would have Rebruary. Every February would be covering Reb Brown stuff. So this guy pays Reb Brown, this fan pays Reb Brown to send a cheer up message to Spoonie. Now we're going to play the audio to it.
Action.
Hey Spoonie, this is Reb. Listen, I miss you. I miss hearing your comments and hearing you and looking at you. God bless you. Hope everything is okay. Hang in there, buddy. You take care, okay? And remember, I still remember February.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so now what's notable about this is he replies this to Spoonie's tweet about the night terrors, ats him the whole 9 yards. Spoonie, and this gets 21 retweets, 94 likes, so Spoonie's solid if he was paying attention. Spoonie never retweeted this. He never liked it. He never acknowledged it. Now, I want you to think about that, folks. I want you to think about that a fan, likely paid, but at least went out of his way to get Reb Brown, a movie star that Spoonie adored from his childhood, to say, hey, cheer up, bucko. And this miserable cunt can't even be bothered to acknowledge it. This miserable, self-absorbed cunt of a human being can't even be bothered to be like, oh yeah, thank you for that. You wonder why I have not an ounce of pity for Spoonie. You wonder why I look at Spoonie and I say everything that's coming to him is richly deserved. He is an absolute selfish cunt of a human being. And also we got Matt Forney joining us right now. How's it going, Matt?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep. What is it?
Yeah,
like?
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. here, but it was Spoonie. It's like, I don't know. I can't hate the guy. I mean, I was telling you this before we went on air. I can't hate the guy just because. I mean, I don't like him. I think he's a piece of shit. But the dude is he's on an entirely new level of pathetic. And you know what's going to happen to him? Like, in 5 years, he's got to be like around 40. I know that much. In 5 years, he's going to be dead of a heart attack, and like he's going to be forgotten. Like, that's him. That's Spoonie.
I think in some ways I'm more mad at all the people who keep defending him, who keep running interference for him, who keep kissing his ass. I mean, I get it. Like, he made cool videos, but how much goodwill does he made me laugh 10 years ago really buy somebody? I in some ways, too. In some ways, everybody that's doing that to Spoonie isn't doing him any favors. Because a whole lot of more people saying, stop being a faggot, would probably do him better. But yeah, he is utterly pathetic. There's a way where you can become so evil that you become harmless. I think Movie Bob is like that in a lot of ways. I mean, Movie Bob, if, by some horrific twist of fate, Movie Bob found himself with political power, he would line up against the wall everybody who was mean to him in high school, which was everybody. And probably the same thing with Spoonie. But they're also so lacking of any level of virtue that they can't even get themselves out of bed in the morning most of the time. Movie Bob can't stop shoveling an early grave with a fork. And Spoonie can barely get himself out of bed. And I don't want to hear it with the depression shit and all this. Spoonie was always a miserable, self-absorbed cunt. All right? He was just kind of funny. Was being the operative word there.
He used to have a work ethic.
But yeah, he was always a shit to his fans. I don't understand this, like, it's this, like, abused girlfriend relationship his fans have with him. No, Spoonie really loves me. He just was having a rough day at work. But yeah, Spoonie's an utter piece of shit. I'm sorry. This is just another keen example of why, in my eyes, his life is completely falling apart, and he utterly deserves it. He utterly fucking deserves it. Now, I mean, as a Christian, don't we all deserve it a little bit? But this is just a guy. If there's one thing I really can't stand, it's somebody that does this for a living and is a shit to their fans. But yeah, that's Spoonie. So moving on, let's talk about the big story, the titular topic.
Before then, there's some memory clips.
When he puts out quality videos every week is beyond me. I feel like I should add to this thread as well, as I'm a highest tier supporter who jumped off. I'm very sorry for that, and would truly much rather see you, Spoonie, not just enjoy everyone's support, but also continue to, with full motivation, create the great content you've always come up with.
And I've heard people defend him. Oh, well, he just, he burned out. He just couldn't make the content anymore. That's not why everybody fucking hates him. Everybody hates him for being a cunt. Okay? I use the movie example because that's what really broke him. When he reached the funding threshold that he was supposed to make a movie. He reached $5,000 a month. He was supposed to make a movie. That broke him because he knew he couldn't do it. Or he didn't think he could do it, or whatever. And if he'd have just come out there and said, "Look, guys, I know I said I was going to do this, but I didn't think you'd ever meet this threshold. And let's be honest, I don't have any ideas for this. The whole thing is stupid. I know everybody else is doing it, but it always turns out stupid. So I'm just going to admit upright, I bit off more than I can chew. If you don't want to support me anymore, I completely understand. I could fart out something embarrassing, but what would be the point of that? But that would require an ounce of fucking humility. And that's what it always is with these guys. And that's you can point to Sargon, you can point to a certain bald buffoon I used to know. It's always the ego. It's always the ego. All right, so moving on to the titular topic today. China's going to kill us all with the big old Kung Flu.
The Umbrella Corporation is real, folks.
So here's
China epidemic strong.
Here's the rundown of this. There is a flu-like virus coming out of China. It's already some confirmed cases outside of China, places like Russia, some other Asian countries. There are whole cities in China being quarantined. The exact details no one really knows because the Chinese government is secretive and full of shit. But any reasonable person can assume it's far worse than what they're officially saying. There are some reports that this was the result of tainted food, which is believable because the Chinese eat all sorts of disgusting bullshit.
There's a funny saying that the Chinese will eat anything with four legs except for a table.
A whole bat soup and snake meat and all this other disgusting shit that any civilized human being knows not to eat.
Did you see the video of the dude eating live rats?
Oh, jeez. I've seen the video of a mom. A mom is feeding her little boy, live tadpoles.
And there was another video of a dude in a mall who just picks a frog out of a tank and just bites its head off.
Yeah, these are fucking bug people, okay? There's no getting around it. The Japanese did nothing wrong in Nanking. The other possibility, because this is right next to a biolab, is that this is a bioweapon that got out of hand. which it would be far worse because then it would be designed to get out of hand. But I put those at 50-50, if I'm being honest with you. I would be perfectly willing to buy either. And either way, I fucking blame these people for it. When is the rest of the world just going to hold hands and in solidarity agree that we're sick of China's shit? I look forward to that day. The amount of plastic they've thrown in the ocean alone is reason enough to call war on these motherfuckers.
I was going to say they'd stop, that they'd realize China's a problem when China stops paying them off.
Well, there's that.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
But yeah, it's so. All right, so this is worse than everyone. I don't fucking know. I don't know where this is gonna go. And everybody that claims they know where it's gonna go, they're full of shit. No, this is as unpredictable a situation as you can have. This could burn out in just a few months, and mostly kill Chinese, which I hardly consider that bad of a thing. Or it could go all over the place. There's a possibility this is done by the end of February. There's a possibility, by the time this is done, half the fucking human race is gone. Who knows? If most of that half comes out of China, I wouldn't be sad. But, I don't know what to tell you. Odds are, if you're a healthy adult, you're fine. Just wash your hands a bit more than you're used to. Maybe get a face mask if you're in a congested area. I don't know what else to tell you.
Face masks aren't that useful because scientists are now saying that the coronavirus is transmitted through the eyes.
The eyes? Oh, geez.
The eyes,
How does that work? How does that work?
Well, the coronavirus has it can survive for up to 2 weeks outside on surfaces.
Again, though, a lot of these reports, I don't think they're all that sure on a lot of this stuff yet. You hear tons of conflicting reports coming out all the time, and you get a lot of scaremongers. Certainly in these corners of the internet. Some idiot I saw on Twitter was going on about how, oh no, it seems like you got flu-like symptoms, but then you seem like you're fine, but it's actually building up in your brain and you just collapse. And he based that on the fact that here's a blurry fucking video of a Chinese guy fainting. It's like, oh, okay. You've solved that mystery, haven't you? And I don't fucking know. Maybe that is the case. I don't fucking know, but neither does he.
That. I thought I might bargain with the president for some donation. Believe it or not, it takes quite a lot of money to keep this church up and running.
Well, look on the positive side. Beijing has canceled all abroad Chinese group tours. So if you live in an area which is known for the scourge, and that's the only way to describe it, the scourge of Chinese tourists, you've been given a temporary reprieve. You don't have to worry about them spitting everywhere. You don't have to worry about them pissing and shitting at random. You don't have to worry about those poor guys in Croatia who had to watch a Chinese dude jerking off in the middle of the town square in broad daylight. Thank you, Corona-chan.
I knew a Japanese kid in high school whose parents used to call Chinese people the N-words of Asia, and I never quite got that until the last few years.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's not even like a poverty thing because, in terms of the fact that they eat anything and their terrible fucking hygiene, the Chinese are just alone in East Asia. Compared to say Thailand or the Philippines, in Southeast Asia, people are so clean there that they invented the bum gun. I will never stop talking about the bum gun, the bidet shower, so that instead of having to wipe your ass with filthy toilet paper when you take a shit, you just use the bum gun instead. It's much more hygienic, it's cleaner, it's more efficient. That's what they use. The Chinese don't have a fucking excuse.
I don't get it. And you know, a lot of people like look at all the horrible things the Japanese did to the Chinese in World War II. But it's like, you know what? That sort of hatred doesn't come out of nowhere. That was the result of thousands of years of having to deal with those people.
Yeah, and here's another factor. Here's another thing to consider. The Chinese name for themselves is Zongguo. I'm probably mangling the pronunciation, but that literally translates to English as Middle Kingdom. The Chinese literally believe that they are the center of humanity, the center of the world, and that everyone else should bow to them. Does that sound a little familiar? Any other tribes that have that attitude of being God's chosen people? Unwarranted self-importance.
That doesn't ring a
terrible dietary habits.
That doesn't. Do the Chinese cut off parts of their penis? I don't know. I mean, they got those little Asian penises. They don't have a lot to spare.
But the Jewish people have a right to exist as a unique people.
Ah, that's racist.
Well, the Chinese do. They have been studying the Talmud in order to become better businessmen. Now that's a thing. Look it up.
And our people.
Ah, that is racist. So you believe you are God's chosen people? Some kind of master race? That just reminds me of the brown shirts in the 30s.
Yeah, it's again, you know, whether or not this is the result of them eating things that any sane human being should know not to eat, or them fucking around with the Umbrella Corporation. Either way, it's like, yeah, you're to blame for this.
Yeah, and they don't have it under control. I'm going to estimate. I mean, yeah, Bechtloff, you said that no one can really predict how this is going to go. The deaths from this, at least in China, are going to be in the hundreds of thousands. Consider the fact that they have something like a dozen cities under quarantine now. Cumulatively, something like 60 million Chinese are not allowed to leave their city because of coronavirus outbreaks. That's not something you do for like a minor virus or a flu. That's something you do if you are fucking panicking about something about a dangerous disease getting out.
Oh no, it is obviously far worse than official stories tell you. Yeah, that's Epstein didn't kill himself levels of obvious. My point is that no, I really get weary of all these people like, I've mapped out completely how it's going to go. It's a fucking virus. The whole reason we as a world generally frown on a fucking virus, more so than on bioweapons, even more than nukes, is because they're so insanely unpredictable. This could mutate into just some harmless, asymptomatic fucking version of itself in a week and just burn out. Or it could mutate in very, very different directions. Or it could just keep doing what it's doing. And there's absolutely no way to know. And then you got to factor in, you know, how smart. Then you got to factor in how smart other governments are going to be about it. Now, other governments throughout the world aren't going to be as moronic about it and top heavy and bureaucratic and slow as the Chinese government, but governments in general are usually fucking retarded. I mean, I would argue a moratorium on Chinese goods right now wouldn't be.
There should a moratorium on Chinese goods. There should be a travel ban for Chinese nationals.
Oh, easily. Like, the travel ban. Yeah, that should have been right away. You know, the Chinese goods thing is a bit more extreme and has a bit more repercussions. So that's the thing you're a bit slower to pull the lever on. But at this point, I don't know that it wouldn't be unwarranted.
Yeah, but again, nobody wants to do that because China is such an important part of the world economy. There is exactly one country right now that has banned Chinese nationals, Bechtloff. You want to know what it is?
Japan?
North Korea.
Oh. I was going to say, well, doesn't Japan always kind of frown on Chinese showing up?
Yeah, they're kind of pussies about it. Now the North Koreans, Kim Jong Kim Jong Un. I mean, he's not having it. The border's closed.
It makes me sick to see such a violation of people's rights. We have to strive to reintegrate the disenfranchised into society, not revel in their punishment. We have to show patience. Excuse me? No, I'd never live in the city.
By the way, another thing to consider with the coronavirus is that it may not have been accidental. Did you know that not too long ago, a couple of Chinese spies who were working at a Canadian biogenetics lab were expelled, and that the coronavirus is actually patented in Canada?
I'd heard rumors of that. I wasn't sure if it was true, but again, the bioweapons lab story seemed just as likely as the tainted meat to me. And like I said, either way, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, it could be that Alex Jones is right about something else again, the depopulation agenda.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, China could use that. I mean, trust me, I wouldn't shed a tear if China's population was absolutely decimated by the end of this. But I'm not convinced it would be all that bad a thing for them.
Well, I don't want to be that guy, but the thing is that people don't understand about depopulation. The elites are not going to kill like dumb Chinese or African or Indian peasants. They're going to kill people like us because they see us as the problem. They want a population that they can easily control. So they're going to so if they're going to do depopulation, they're going to do it in the places where people are most resistant to the rule. Why do you think they promote unchecked breeding in the third world and childlessness in the first world? It's all part of the plan.
Oh, I know. But that's the thing. I mean, you're dealing with a virus. You know, you're not gonna. You don't get to necessarily pick how that works. I mean, I'm not too worried about it because again, it's looking like it's a 97% survival rate if you get it. I mean, if I get the coronavirus, from what I understand, I run more risk of losing my job due to having to call off more than dying. You know, oh, you had to take a week off. That's too many sick days. But I mean, I'm in a sparsed out rural area. I'm not worried about it. And you know, I've made my peace with God. If I die, I die. I'll tell you what I am a little concerned about. I'm a little concerned about the mass panic if this actually turns out to be a major, major plague. That's something I'm worried about. I'm worried about every stupid, panicky motherfucker out there just, you know, burning everything down.
You know what I noticed? Nobody panics when things go according to plan. Even if the plan is horrifying.
Well, yeah, that'll happen in the cities, though. I mean, cities are just going to be giant incubators for this thing.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, have you noticed that there hasn't been a single coronavirus outbreak in Africa, despite all the Chinese involvement there? Real chin-scratching moment.
Aren't they already all dying of Ebola and AIDS? I mean, would you even notice it if it happened down there? Have there been confirmed cases in the U.S. or not? I kept hearing conflicting shit.
There are about there's about 2 or 3 confirmed cases. There's one in Seattle and
I heard something in Washington.
Seattle and Chicago and Minneapolis. There's also confirmed cases in France, in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Russia. There's also some unconfirmed cases in other countries.
Let's see, not to sound too much in panic mode, but the BBC says there are 63 patients in 22 United States being monitored for signs of rare respiratory illness.
Well, that's the other biggest problem with it. It being, you know, in the family of flu and all. I mean, there's going to be a lot of unreported cases. I mean, there's just going to be. There's going to be people think they have the flu. There's going to be people that, I don't know, maybe they're just tougher and it's not affecting them as much. And it just, I just got a cold. And that's more dangerous, because if somebody's walking around thinking, oh, they just got a cold, then they're just walking around going about their business, spreading it.
Yeah, then then it turns into pneumonia, and they're hacking their lungs out. The ER.
The moment you got a guy who it's either slow to affect him or it's just not affecting him that much, and he gets over it, that's a guy that's going to be spreading it around all over the place without knowing it.
Yeah, it'll be like in the beginning of in that movie, The Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where at the end the guy who doesn't know he's infected spreads the fucking simian flu all over the world because of his job as a pilot.
Yep.
I mean, I've had a bit of a cold all week, so but I'm fine. And I don't know what to tell you all, though. I mean, you don't want to panic about it. Like, for the love of God, don't run around. Don't believe every fear-mongering source. Wash your hands a bit more. I don't know, maybe wear a face mask. Maybe avoid very, very crowded areas. If you can, that sort of thing. Take a few precautions if you can, but, I mean, otherwise, just live your life. But at the same time, don't think it's nothing. And it never hurts. It never hurts to have a closet full of canned foods and bullets. I'm just saying. Never hurts to have a. Never hurts to have a lot of.
Avoid people of a certain ethnicity.
Yeah. I'm sorry if your last name starts with an X, I probably don't want to share a plane with you right now.
I'm proud to say that I'm in a country that has not had a single outbreak.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's likely to strike the bumfuck middle of nowhere where I live anytime soon. But yeah, never hurts to have a pantry full of canned peaches, and a safe full of bullets. I'm just saying. There's very few situations where that's a hindrance.
And a swimming pool of hand sanitizer.
Have you guys seen those videos of China with all those bulldozers trying to make a new hospital?
Oh,
the next 10 days.
Oh yeah, they're building a new hospital in Wuhan to service all the people who've got infected with the coronavirus, which is going to be hilarious because given how shoddy their construction is, the hospital will probably end up collapsing on the first day.
I mean, it's China. I'm surprised they're not just burning everybody that's coughing. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm surprised they don't just have a bonfire and chuck everybody in there with a runny nose.
Too much effort. They'll just throw them into the Yangtze River.
As officials race to build a 1,000-bed hospital for victims to be finished in just 10 days. The crisis deepening here and the virus now spreading, reaching Australia and Europe with confirmed cases in France and 9 other countries, including the U.S. 2 patients are confirmed to have the virus in Washington and Illinois, and health officials are watching more than 60 other possible cases across 22 states.
Yeah, I mean, this has the potential to be a big deal. It also has there's been tons of other times where we thought there was a pandemic that was going to come out of China, and it just burned out. The bird flu, the swine flu, the turtle flu, whatever the fuck else they had going on. This does seem like this might have more legs, but you really never know. Styx Hexenhammer has done really good coverage of it the last few days. Very even-handed, very. He's not trying to fearmonger. He's not trying to be like, oh, nothing to worry about kind of thing. He's very even-keeled about it, and it's been good. I don't care for Styx, ooga booga pagan magic videos, but he has some decent political commentary. It's worth checking out.
Have you guys seen the movie Contagion?
I have not.
Is that a zombie virus movie, or it sounds?
No, it's just a pandemic movie about how a possible scenario of how we deal with a new virus, or it's just interesting takes on how we handle new viruses.
Yeah, I don't believe I've seen it.
It is kind of interesting because the movie depicts how the abilities to fight the virus with people who broke protocol actually went ahead and went through their own experiments, and how interesting, like how the people's innovation to survive wins out in the end.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the reasons that this kind of shit gets out of hand in a place like China, because you got that top-down communist authoritarian government, and everybody's afraid to rock the boat. Everybody's afraid to bring potentially bad news. Everybody just keeps their head down and all, and that's how you end up with this sort of stuff. I know communism doesn't work. Big shock.
You don't say. Please tell me more.
that wonderful little individualist spirit in the United States and other parts of the West does us wonders. One of the biggest problems in the Cold War, where Russians would train for if we were in an actual war and all, I ever said one of the worst parts of dealing with the United States military is they don't follow orders all the time. And they just didn't know how to. The commies in the Russian military were a little too autistic to process that.
In global politics, a year is proportionate to a minute. And if a ship sinks, does common logic not dictate that it was likely springing leaks 3 minutes prior? Communist control of Germany and Poland was spottier than Gorbachev's forehead, particularly towards the end.
And you know what? I mean, not to sound opportunistic, but it's yet another reason Trump's going to win. And
as if we need another one.
I'm not kidding, because let's be real. When there's a crisis, people like having the big, strong, masculine leader. All right, so nobody wants to vote for frail old Bernie Sanders or fucking Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren when people are coughing their lungs out in the street. Okay.
I mean, I'm not one for Reichs, but if this is like a precursor to an American Reich, then bring it on. The Trump would be perfect for it.
Hey, we use the term God Emperor around here.
Oh yes, please forgive me, brother.
Hey, yeah, Iran got hit with a serious earthquake after bombing U.S. troops. China got hit with a serious plague after trying to destroy the U.S. economy. I think we know whose side God is on here.
Well, they say there were plagues in the 1920s, the 1820s, and the 1720s. So, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Oh, boy.
I mean, like I said, I don't want to sit here and fearmonger, because a lot of people want to do that for clicks and all. And it's easy to do. It's going to be, 90% of humanity's going to die in the next year. Probably not. That's probably not going to happen. Although, I don't know, this might pick off a lot of boomers. I'm just saying.
Boomer flu.
The elderly aren't going to fare well in that kind of a situation. Just saying. Maybe this is good. Maybe this is the day of the pillow coming true.
Look, Hitler, we told you that your policy would make Israel non-Jewish. And I'm the only Jew left. You wiped us out for good.
Well, no one could have foreseen that.
It says send millennial communists to China. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where this is gonna go, to be honest. I kind of put it at about 50-50 odds. It could peter out pretty quickly in the next few months, or we're looking for a very, very interesting year. I don't know. Maybe that'll help me with my weight loss as I'm slowly dying. The flu is very good if you're trying to lose weight. So, which, by the way, folks, I am down a good solid 10 pounds this month, and this month isn't even over.
Ooh, congrats.
So off to a fantastic start with it. Like I said, I started this year at 230. I intend to end this year at least 180. just tired of being a fat fuck. So earlier I was talking about, and I felt this way for a bit, that this is going to be the last show for about a month easily, and I've been very burned out with a lot of this stuff. One of the things that was really starting to like get me thinking about this back around Christmas. Christmas Eve, I actually sent Arini a fucking Amazon gift card. I was sending Amazon gift cards out to a handful of relatives, and I was just thinking about him doing that stream where he's sitting in the dark and the cold and fucking talking about how happy he was the liquor store was open and just having nobody and nothing on fucking Christmas. And I couldn't help but feel pity for him. So I sent him $5 with the picture of that World War I truce, where they were playing soccer and shit like that. I know they don't sell cigarettes and alcohol on Amazon, so I don't know what he's going to get with it. But, I felt a tremendous amount of pity. And that sort of stuck with me for a bit, to where it was hard to laugh at him after that. Like, because it's just so sad. Just sitting around talking about how you're a priest class ectomorph level 9 Sigma and the world doesn't recognize your genius, and that damn Martin Luther is the reason I can't keep a job. And it's just so pathetic. And to be honest with you, that's so much of the online right anymore. Like, he's a particularly bad example of it, but that's so much of it anymore. And I am so burned out with it. I'm so burned out with the trad cats. I'm so burned out with the wignats. I'm so burned out with the boomer magapeds. Dealing with like all these kind of guys is just, it's just exhausting. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'm going to take some time off, try and figure out some tech things. You guys are great. You guys are great. There's the PayPal, Patreon, Amazon wishlist, and y'all, given the size of my audience, you guys are very, very generous, and I greatly appreciate that. Hell, I remember literally a year ago, I believe it was last January, I mentioned that I had to get tires that month, or I wasn't going to pass inspection. And I was like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to swing that. Wasn't even e-begging hard. And my audience just came through and basically paid for it. And that's humbling and honoring at the same time. It's fantastic. So, I want to put on a good show for you. And I think I want to start talking again about stuff I actually like. It kind of put the kibosh on it because OBS shit out here on me and doesn't do the screen share. But, Luke and I are going to do that Blue Beetle stream. That's still planned.
Somehow, as soon as we figure out how to get the visuals going again.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm going to try and figure out how to actually edit videos and actually do some reviews. I have a little external hard drive. Again, a fan was nice enough to send me that has hundreds upon hundreds of cartridge era games on it. So, capturing footage shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's difficult to play with a keyboard because I'm not PC mustard race. But most of them are compatible with the wired Xbox controller I got. But yeah, I'm so burned out with it. It's like I'd really rather just do videos on fun stuff, talk about stuff like that, talking about the news and current events. I mean, like we sat here and talked about the virus stuff, and yeah, I can give you a quick rundown of what I know, which isn't much, because the reality is I don't know. This literally is a 50-50 shot of worst case or best case scenario here, and all sorts of scenarios in between. And there does come a point where it's just mental masturbation to sit around worrying about it. You know, the politics stuff I'm burned out on. I still like talking about politics, but I don't want to talk about it so much. I mean, this whole online thing started for me because I started a blog in 2012 because I was in between jobs and bored. You know, and I was mostly talking about comic books. I sort of got sucked into the manosphere, alt-right, whatever crowd, but I was never totally in that.
Come on, T-Series, looking hungry for some drama. Here, let me serve your bitch lasagna.
Bechtloff will also be using his break to go on an ayahuasca retreat in the mountains of Peru so that he can learn the secrets of the free folk.
How to save the West.
How to see the jaguar.
Is that their new colony or is that this old one?
I'm just making a joke. Ayahuasca is like this psychotropic drug medicine that like people in Amazon use.
Folks,
I think
if you
William Burroughs did it.
If you want to call in, message me on Skype. I'll send you a link to the Hangout. Or we'll take callers tonight. I want to review more comic books too. That's another thing. Not enough people do that. And like the comic book reviewers I see generally online, you know, I see a lot of the Comicsgate guys, and I'm so glad I didn't fall for that thing twice. Like I fell for it once with Gamersgate. I wasn't falling for that again with Comicsgate. I kept my distance, and was very happy of that. And I sort of was one of the guys that started it. Nobody credits me with that, and I'm glad. But I was one of the original tweets that got featured in that Guardian article about the girl with the milkshakes and shit. You know, I'm the one that threw the match into that dumpster.
Have you heard of Jesus?
But yeah, I want to review some comic books. Conan the Destroyer donates $1, says I would watch a stream where you play our Mario Maker 2 troll levels. Yeah, that's another thing. I'd like to get a capture card for the Switch. That'd be nice. More gaming stuff, some comic book stuff, just general geekery stuff. That's just fun. That's just way more interesting. I like talking about the news. I like talking about politics, but like, I'd like that to be like 20% of the content at most. It's boring after a while.
I like what Tucker Carlson said about the impeachment. Washington has done something impossible in the age of Trump. They made politics boring again.
Like, I'm talking about these comic reviewers. You know what it is most of the time with these Comicsgate guys in particular? It's, hey, look, I found this issue of Captain Marvel that just came out with really shitty artwork and written by a blue-haired feminist. Could you guess that it's awful? Like, yes, I could. It's. I didn't grab it off the shelf for a reason.
They can't all be bad.
Surely this issue, like, no, it's gonna suck. All right. Surely now Gail Simone will write a good comic. No, okay, she hasn't in 20 years. She's not likely to anytime soon.
The problem? They lack a subscription service 1/5 as vibrant as HBO's, and their critical acclaim really just consists of a pit-stained gaggle of noxious newsarama nerds beating it raw to the Bronze Age. Think Linkara, but with better writing. Frank Miller.
Yeah, there's good comics out there. You know, hell, there's even good Marvel comics out there, believe it or not, these days. Nobody wants to talk about them. Because it's, I guess they think, or maybe it's true, that bitching about things gets you more clicks. I don't know. It's not the kind of content I watch. Most of the geek content I like to watch these days is like those ridiculous Lore Explains channel, you know, those where they go into like complex discussing the lore of some franchise or complicated fan theories or shit like that. you know, people actually enjoying it. That's something I enjoy these days. Like, I love Ghostbusters. Do you think I want to go into detail talking about the 2016 Ghostbusters? No. I did. James Rolfe had the right idea. I'm not going to watch it. It looks like shit.
That's like going into the lab to determine the exact chemical composition of a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to describe to you exactly what each turd smells like for your fucking amusement. And I don't think it is that amusing. Certainly not anymore. That stuff's kind of just played out these days. Especially when you're dealing with something that's like, it's bad and it's bad in a very predictable way. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what do you want to say about it? You know? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't, and I've had, I know one guy, I'm not going to name him, but he's trying to do his own little independent comic, and he ends up on a lot of these, like, Comic Gate streams where they got, like, 5 or 6 people. He's like, I can get you in on one. I'm like, I appreciate the invite, but I'd rather fucking slam my dick with a hammer. Like, just no. Like, yeah, big shock. The latest issue of Captain Marvel, not good. And then it gets to a point where they want to, like, they want to bitch about stuff for the sake of bitching about it. They want to be offended by stuff. I saw this panel, and I don't know the context of it. Whatever book it was in, I wasn't reading it. But for some reason, the Hulk was in this person's kitchen, right? And this little black girl is, like, being nice to him and showing him how to make grits, right? And she says, like, the secret to making grits is that you have to put milk in it. It says on the box, put water, but Mama says that's for white people. And the Hulk is like, Hulk is green, because it was, like, the dumb Hulk. I don't know the context of that panel. I don't know what book it's in, whatever. I just know that everyone's passing that a panel around because they're like, this is offensive. This is anti-white. And I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, maybe the overall context of that book is obnoxious, but that one panel I'm looking at right there, no, it's not. Like, stop being Anita Sarkeesian levels of easily offended. Stop looking for reasons to be mad. We have a caller on the line here. Looks like V. What is it? Is that Sargon's buddy V? What's going on here?
I'm not sure if his mic is
man.
I'm sorry. Did I just insult my caller here? But it just with that little thumbnail, it looks like Sargon's Romanian buddy's calling me. I can't do his voice, but just be like. Just coming in here and telling me, no, Sargon's Liberalist Party was actually a brilliant idea. I believe I've offended my caller there. He's not talking. See, I'm just so unprofessional, man.
You're just having audio issues.
He's working on his fake.
It was so brilliant it caused his microphone to implode.
Oh, Forney, you should probably go to bed, man. Didn't you say it was like 5 o'clock in whatever European hellhole you're at it now?
I'm technically in an Asian hellhole, but
that's not a good idea these days.
West Asian, the good part of Asia.
Did you just have some delicious bat soup?
I actually went to Burger King. I had something called a Whopper roll.
A Whopper roll. That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it was pretty good, yeah.
No Incredible Whoppers for you? Impossible Whoppers?
They don't have that here.
I tried it a couple times. It's like biting into air.
I went to Moe's Southwest Grill for lunch today. You know, even when you're on a diet, you can still go to most restaurants as long as you're just, like, cautious about what you order and don't get a soda. Like, I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world. You know, a chicken quesadilla is really not gonna, is not the reason I'm fat, okay? Somebody in the chat says, I think eventually we will reach an equilibrium where politics becomes boring again. Yeah, I'm just sort of done with it. Craig Langley says, the right is now getting offended by everything because it used to work for the left, a generation behind the left once again. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm tired of people like, oh, this is anti-male. This is anti-white. And it's like, or maybe you just can't take a joke.
Hello, can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, just like digging through the settings.
So what's on your mind?
Oh yeah, so pretty much just to comment on like the recent implosion of like the non-mainstream right, with like everybody seems to have like skeletons coming out, like with Nick Fuentes going on a date with a cam boy, and you know, Davis Arini, your friend. And
right.
It's just the one comment I want to make about it is that pretty much like if the one strength of the mainstream conservative movement is that it's, even though it's obviously has a lot of problems, but it seems to have the type of temperament that the non-mainstream right lacks. Like,
well, there's obviously going to be professionalism about it. I don't think that, I mean, trust me, the mainstream right, they are skeletons in the closet out the ass. There just is. All right. It bubbles to the surface once in a while, but they're just generally better at hiding it because, again, there's more of a level of professionalism. Again, though, what bothers me, I mean, it's the pride aspect of it. It's the hubris. It's all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm not going to throw stones at Nick Fuentes because he very clearly is struggling with the homosexuality. And I honestly think that's what it is. I think this is a guy who is going back and forth between desires he has and a faith that tells him it's wrong. I think that is the story of Nick Fuentes, if I had to hazard a guess. And you know what? I can be extremely sympathetic to that. Of course, Nick's also a smug, obnoxious cunt. So you end up a little less sympathetic towards it. I honestly think it would be fucking hilarious if, like, Charlie Kirk calls into a show once and be like, not so smug now, are you, Catboy? That would actually make me kind of like Charlie Kirk a little bit, but he doesn't have the balls to do that, of course.
Oh, maybe somebody like Steven Crowder would.
Although I think Crowder's got the exact same skeleton in his closet, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Although at least Crowder doesn't run around beating the drum of how the fags are degenerate and need lined against the wall.
I think generally the people on the non-mainstream right, it tends to attract the type of people that have the type of baggage or the type of damaged goods that the mainstream right doesn't attract as much. At least that's what I think.
I think
there's speaking of marginal figures, I mean, there was the news that Chris Cantwell got himself arrested again.
Yeah, I heard that. I can't defend Cantwell anymore. I used to for a while, but I long ago just, and you know, it's honestly one of those things where I never had much interaction with him, but I've had some interactions on social media. I always liked him on a personal level. He was a fuck up. He was obviously a fuck up, but there was something lovable about it. But then he goes down this path where it's like everybody that makes fun of him on the internet is going to get doxxed or something. And it's like, I I can't fucking, I can't defend you, dude. I just can't. So, you know, he's a massive fuck up. He's fucked up more. He's probably gonna go to jail, and he I don't know what to tell you, man. Have you heard of Jesus?
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to jail. He's been federally indicted for sending interstate extortion threats. He's in the spotlight because he was trying to get the real life identity of some Wignet enemy of his. So he was extorting someone else by threatening to come over and fuck their wife.
You know, blackmail is a serious fucking offense. And you know, you're like, oh, I got incriminating stuff. You don't want it found out. You know, the moment you pull that stunt towards somebody who's like, fuck it, go ahead and tell everybody, you're gonna go to jail.
Yeah, especially like they apparently they did a pre-drawn raid on his fucking house. Like they showed up with armed officers and shit because they fully expecting him to go nuts, but he wimped out.
God, his show was so funny too. His show was before he fucking got too far in with the Wignets. His show was fucking hilarious. I remember right after the Pulse shooting, because I think that happened on a weekend. It was like that Monday afternoon, and he always did that previously on the Radical Agenda and played some sound clip. He goes previously on the Radical Agenda, and he plays Cascade's "Evacuate the Dance Floor," and he's sitting there dancing to it a little bit in his seat. That had me dying. That still makes me laugh when I think about it. Like right after the Pulse nightclub shooting, it's like previously on the Radical Agenda, evacuate the dance floor. I was dying. I was fucking dying, dude. I was like, oh my God. I showed that to coworkers. I was like, dude, check out what this edgy podcast guy did.
Was this like right after Pulse shooting?
It was literally it was the first time he was on air after the Pulse shooting. I think it was like, I think he did like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it was like the Pulse shooting, I think, happened on a weekend, so it was like Monday. He's like, previously on the Radical Agenda, evacuate the dance floor. I was dying, dude.
Yeah. That's just wrong. But it's funny as hell.
That was hilarious. I legitimately like that song too.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that song.
Cascada, I think it's
when you actually hear it.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Yeah, he did a good show, but then just it went downhill to say the least. Didn't he get thrown off Gab?
Yeah, you got banned a year ago for making violent threats.
How the fuck you get thrown off Gab unless you show a titty? Like, unless you show like anime girls making out and hurt Andrew Torbo's pussy. How do you get thrown off Gab?
Well, they've banned people. They banned Patrick Little for doing the same thing, talking about how he was going to go smash up Jewish tombstones.
You know, as much as I don't want to see people banned, you know what? I am of the mindset that the standard for all social media should be if it's legal to say, it's legal to post. But it's not legal to threaten people. So there you go. I don't know what to tell you. It's even legal to wish bad things upon people, but it's not legal to say I am going to do these things. You can't do that.
Well, there are actually people who would report you to FBI for simply wishing bad things upon them.
I mean, there's lots of people I wish bad things upon, but you know, I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm enjoying watching Spoonie's life fall apart, for example, but I'm not going to do anything to him. I mean, honestly, If somebody did point a gun to Spoonie's, he would just put his head right up to it and be like, do it, please.
Have you guys like caught up with Dark Side Phil lately?
I know he got married a little while ago. I heard he filed for bankruptcy.
Didn't he?
Did he get married to the same girl that he was living with?
No,
all
it
this
wasn't
time?
the Panda Lee chick. It was somebody else. Somebody else like came out of nowhere and he just got married.
Like, was it off of Asian?
I
bride
don't
to
know.
order?
I don't know the details of it.
Like
but
he
it
has
was
the money for that.
But yeah, he filed for bankruptcy apparently. I mean, his. It's not as bad as Spoonie. I like at the New Year's thing Medicare did, where he had like the people with the worst luck in 2020, and Spoonie was one of them. Spoonie won that award. I think Boogie was another nominee. I can't remember who else. It might have been Pro Jarrett. Although Pro Jarrett turned it around. You got to give him credit where credit's due. Pro Jarrett turned that ship around.
Well, if only he knew about Davis Arini.
You could go on Twitch and stream to 4 people about how you're a level 9 Sigma.
Yeah, dark apartment with like 4 layers of clothes.
Oh God,
because
Davis!
you can't
Davis,
afford the lights for the
I'm
heater.
gonna. This is my last show for a while. So, once again, Davis, I'm going to say, and I think you'll probably hear this. For the love of God, dude, just stop. You're not a level 9 Sigma, ecto cooler, fucking endomorph, priest class, whatever the fuck you're going on about. It's not Martin Luther's fault that you can't keep a job. All right, just pull your head out of your ass, dude. It's time to stop. Stop making up fucking titles for yourself about how the world doesn't recognize your genius, and just go fucking do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. All right. You want me to put a good word in for you at the box factory? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that because I'm not going to lie to my boss.
Did people used to keep jobs differently before Martin Luther?
Yeah, apparently it was a Martin Luther fucked up Davis Arini's ability to keep a job.
Like before, it wasn't based on economics; it was based purely on Catholic mysticism.
Well, no, Martin Luther actually rebelled against the Catholic Church because he was a time traveler who was jealous against Davis Arini.
Apparently, a gamma could smell a sigma a mile away.
500 years away, apparently.
500 years in the future.
You talk about playing the long game. But yeah, dude, just go get a job, okay? Just go get a fucking job, man. Let's see. Somebody in the chat says Gab seems more interested in selling hats and t-shirts lately. I quit Gab. I still have the account on there, but I hadn't been on for a while, and then when they were pulling the shit of like the free speech alternative to Twitter, now we're gonna ban porn and also flag burning, I was like, I just made one post where I was like, yeah, fuck this place. I'm out. You know, follow me on YouTube if you care. If not, see you, bye. But yeah, like I said, going forward with the show, probably just gonna do a lot more geek stuff. Maybe try to actually learn how to make videos.
Oh, Bechtloff, would you be, as part of doing geek stuff, would you be interested in reviewing this furry anime that I discovered?
I would not. I would very much not be interested in reviewing that.
Furry anime?
It is creepy. It is it's all CGI and it looks incredibly creepy.
But enough about the Cats movie. Yeah, I'm not. I don't believe it.
I know you guys can't see this, but I'll share some of the images, the clip images I found.
Oh, good God! Did you find that on Pornhub?
Oh, God.
Google search.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not going to review that. Thank God no one can see that.
Although I'm not sure if the subtitles actually match what's being said, but it wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, I'd probably do more gaming stuff, that kind of thing. You know, maybe get a good Raid Shadow Legends sponsor. You know, that kind of thing. That's where it's at. You want to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Use promo code Bechtloff to get a new champion, or whatever the fuck that means.
You know, Twitch and streamers have totally killed gaming culture. Especially all these Twitch thoughts.
Gotta get you your... the funniest thing, I don't know if y'all saw... I believe Forney has fallen asleep on us too, by the way. But the funniest thing, if y'all saw it, I can't remember which video it is, but Internet Historian, which is a great channel, you should check him out. He did a video where he was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and he just trolls the commercial. Like, he's like, it's an MMO JRPG for people with ADHD created by the IRS that'll give you HIV.
What's this again?
One of the Internet Historian videos, he has a Raid Shadow Legends live read, and he trolls the shit out of it. Luke, if you can find it. I don't know which video it is, though, but he's sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends in one of them, and he just trolls the shit out of the commercial, like purposely fucks it all up. Somebody says Hot Dish is on sale. Somebody sent me a super chat to play Hot Dish, so I have to. Oh, God.
What the hell is Hot Dish?
It's the game that Vox Day, a.k.a. Teddy Spaghetti, made. It's Boiling Spaghetti, the game.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
Well, I know Vox Day made a game back in the 90s.
Made Hot Dish.
Is that what it's called?
I guess. It's just,
Is that... Let me look it up on Steam.
I guess I should buy it now, since it's on sale. Play it later.
Oh,
God.
I see it, yeah.
It's just...
it's only $4.
That's $4 too many. It's something I could have played for free on... It looks like something that was for free on Newgrounds in 2002, minus any humor. Any luck on finding that video, Luke?
Available now on iOS and Android. It's
he found it. Okay. Go get to the beginning of it. We gotta hear this.
Slide 2, please. But first, airtime. Shadow Man here with Raid Shadow Legends. Available now on iOS and Android. It's a totally free RPG PvP DVD for people with ADHD, but don't take my word for it. Here's someone from IGN. Look how many positive reviews it has. In fact, I bought another phone with my sponsorship money so I can dual-wield Raid Shallow Leaves.
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah.
Dozens of upgradable characters. Fleshed out storyline. Wait, I just realized this is my one opportunity to say bad stuff about Shroud.
I've watched almost every one of his videos.
They'll never hear it because he always skips my fucking ads. Wait. Red Shady Lemons. But don't take my word for it. Here's someone from Qualcomm. Mom, I've been playing for 2 days straight. There's nothing you can do to stop me. No, stop. Mom. Look at this one. I use this champion because she has a massive car. Are you playing a fucking console? Throw that in the trash, my dude.
That's my dialysis machine.
Your phone is the only dialysis machine you need. Giant boss fights, PvP battles, almost 10 million players. Are you playing yet? Get it with the code in the description and get 50k silver and a free epic champion. What a twist! There's also big plans to update the game. Here's a roadmap for the next 6 months. Alright, get the game. I've been Shadow Man. Thank you.
I don't think they had him sponsor again after that.
Oh wow.
Somebody in the chat says, "Hey Bechtloff, what have you been doing to lose weight?" The biggest thing I've been doing is I've cut out almost all of the soda. In fact, I'm drinking almost nothing but water, and that's a big thing. If you drink soda like me, or like I used to, you could easily be drinking 1,000 calories a day and not even realize it.
Have you
other than
ever
that,
drank Perrier?
Have I drank what?
Perrier?
I have not drank Perrier.
It's basically soda water.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying to do that. I don't know. I'm just sticking with water. A little bit of fruit juice, but primarily water. So yeah, basically, other than that, you cut the calories. I'm doing a little bit more working out, and that's it. Now, right now I'm having a lot of success with that. Odds are, in the next couple months, I'm probably going to have to up the ante on that once I hit a plateau. But for now, I'm just staying the course, and it's just as simple as watching what you eat, and it's not easy, but it's simple. That's the thing about weight loss. It's simple. There are a few things here and there you can do to help yourself, but primarily do more and eat less. It's just that simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Matt Forney is snoring away on my show.
Unfortunately, this this Hangout doesn't have the remove feature anymore.
Can you mute him? Is it possible to mute him? Because he is snoozing away.
Wow.
Sure. I can always close the window and open a new Hangout again.
Oh, don't worry about that. We're not going to be going that much longer. But yeah, that's been it so far. Just is someone snoring? Yes, Matt Forney is snoring. Matt Forney has fallen asleep and is snoring, and Luke can't figure out how to mute him. So there you go. Good God. Highly professional show, I know.
Apparently it's Chinese New Year's today.
Is it? Well, is it the year of the bat? Fucking disgusting motherfuckers eating bats. What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh wow. So Google support says, unfortunately, the only way to do this is to ask the person to leave. This is Google support. Other than that, you can create a new group chat and tell everyone to leave the original one.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, thanks a lot, Google.
Hangouts was a great thing. Why did they have to fucking wreck it?
Well, that's just Google being Google.
All right, folks. So you know what? I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So like I said, I'm gonna be taking the next month off. I might do a stream during the week to end this month, but primarily I think that's gonna probably be it till about March. I will still be active on the Facebook page, Bechtloff, Facebook.com/the Bechtloff. I'll still be active in the Discord server, but other than that, we're gonna take a break from this. Yes, I know, snoozing emojis. Good Lord. But yeah, that's it for tonight. That's it probably for about a month.
Before we close, let me double check something. Oh, never mind.
All right.
A certain someone we know is having a gift from God today.
What is this?
Pastor Tom. He's been blessed with something.
Oh, that was the other day. His wife finally gave birth. I mean, I don't think it's letting a cat out of the bag to say that. He's talked about how he was expecting.
No,
I was expecting it to be something more epic like healing people or something.
It's a beautiful baby girl so far that we know.
Nice.
But yes, Pastor Tom officially a dad now, so he can't come on the internet anymore. He's not allowed to have fun anymore.
Okay, so you can now call him father then?
But yeah, he's not allowed to have fun anymore. But yeah, congrats, Pastor Tom. And yeah, that's about it for tonight, folks. If you enjoy the content, do consider supporting the show. PayPal, Patreon, and Amazon wishlist. Although the Patreon will not be charged for February. It will be charged for January. Yep, that's about it for tonight. I want to thank you all for listening. Bechtloff out.